This is what we're rocking with. Starting point. Okay.
And it all started when I was 20. Now I can see that the signs were there. My father, for example, is bald, but everybody in my family always told me, "Oh, you have such nice hair. It's very thick." I was like, "Okay, I'm safe. I'm off the hook." So I thought. And especially I never thought that it would become so early because I really had thick curly hair. I had never noticed anything. But one day I went to the dermatologist, and when she saw me, she started looking at my scalp up here and she said, you are becoming bald. And I was like, "What? No, lady, what are you saying? I can't be becoming bald. That's not me. I have thick hair. Come on, look at me." And she was like, "No, no, I know what I'm saying. Like, you are having some thinness in the top of your scalp. You are becoming bald." And I was just not ready at that point to accept it. Like, I really wasn't ready. And I just said, like, what that's not possible. Like, what can I do to avoid this? Like, that was the only reaction in my mind. What can I do to avoid this fate? And she simply said, like, "Okay, there are some pills that you can take, but there is no magic cure. If there was a magic cure, there would be no bald man." And at that point I started taking finasteride. Later on I also took minoxidil. Be honest, with the finasteride I didn't feel anything. The hair just completely continued to fall. I didn't feel any side effects at the time, but also no positive effects. I just kept on taking it because I thought that it would be some kind of miracle. It's something that in your mind you just hope that there's going to be some kind of miracle one day. I just kept losing hair. My hair loss started at the crown and also then slowly at the temples. There was a point where it was unavoidable. Like, you could see it completely on the crown. There was no hiding it. When I first heard that news, I was still not bald, so it was just some information, but I thought, okay, I have many years ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe this will happen in my 30s. So I went to my friends and I told them about this story, and it became kind of a meme, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're the bald one in the group. You're going to be bald," and stuff and so on. It was all just fun at the time. And then very quickly it started becoming real. As it started becoming real, like, for me, it really affected my confidence. And I
Yes.
had always been a pretty confident guy. I never had issues with that. But it just started, hitting me. The more the hair fell, the more time I took in the bathroom just trying to adjust it and looking with mirrors and the camera. I have so many pictures and videos that I will share with you, but I had so much more that I took just to check on my hair, but I immediately deleted because I was so ashamed of it. Throughout the day, if I went to a bathroom somewhere, I would just pick up the camera inside the bathroom stall and just take pictures and look how is it, try to adjust. I think over time I kind of accepted it here in the crown area. I didn't like it, but it just became a reality. Sometimes I received comments from my friends, which of course it hurts you inside, when you hear those things because you don't like yourself in that way. But for a while, I think it was acceptable, maybe 1 year or something like that. And then I also became receding very much in the temples, and the hair really began to thin. So not only in the crown, but the whole upper part of the head. You could really see that there was a lack of hair. No matter how much I styled it, I couldn't handle it anymore. Like, it was too much. It had gotten to a point where I would take hours in the bathroom to get ready and to get my hair all perfect. I got a job and I had to start really, really early, 6:30 in the morning or something. And still I would take 1 or 1.5 hours in the bathroom just trying to get everything ready because I just couldn't get out of the house without taking a shower, without washing my head and doing all these things. It got to a point where it controlled my life completely. I would not leave the house without washing my hair, without arranging my hair in a certain way. If I was out, I would never put any kind of cap. I know that a lot of people do that, but I would never use it because then it would mess up my hair. And when I had to take it out, it would just be messy. So I would never wear anything on my head. I would never put my head against a wall or something like that. Like, never. It was, nobody could touch it. I couldn't touch anything. It was really controlling. Like, I wouldn't go to the gym because I was embarrassed of it. I wouldn't go running. Like, I love to go running, and I wouldn't go because I was just so embarrassed. I would go sometimes at night when there was less people. It was just something that was really controlling my life. I remember there was this one time I went out with my friends to a bar, and we were just talking to some girls that were a little bit younger, like 20 or something. And at a certain point I was with one of them and she asks me my age. and I say I'm 22. And I could just tell in that moment, I could just tell her look going to my hair, and it just hurt me so much inside. Like that face of like, are you telling the truth? Like is that really your age?
Yeah.
That's a moment that really hurts you, because it started so early and I had no one around me. None of my friends are dealing with this. So I just felt very alone in that sense. Like nobody understood it. At work, I would just spend hours just arranging it, and then I would come home from work and I would do it again because it was already all messed up. Controlling my life definitely too much. I think I was just so ashamed to talk even to my father, who was also dealing with it and had dealt with it. Like initially when I had that reaction from the doctor, like I went to my parents, I didn't know what to do and just talked to them. Look, I'm going bald. The doctor said I'm going bald. I have to do this, this, and this. And they were all like, no, you're not going bald. Don't worry about it. I don't know. Slowly and slowly, it became more and more visible. It was impossible to hide. As they saw me day by day, they just kind of accepted it. And for them, it was normal. And for them, it wasn't an issue. This is the thing about balding. It isn't an issue for anyone else. And this is really what fucks you up. Like it's just in your head. It's just about yourself, your self-perception. As it began becoming more real and I talked to my parents about it again, sometimes when I went to the barber and the barber commented about it, and sometimes she said like, oh, you could do, like, I have a client who did a hair transplant and maybe you could do that. All these ads, as you know, on Instagram and everywhere you get all these ads. And I talked to my parents about it. I don't know, it's weird because at the time balding was not really a solution. There was medicine, hair transplants, stuff like that, but assuming your baldness was never in the table. I went to a family dinner with a lot of people from my family, and some aunts and cousins of mine started noticing it on the crown, like, oh, you're going bald like your father. What are you going to do about it? And I was just like completely taken aback. I didn't know what to say. They told me, oh, this cousin of yours, he also was dealing with hair problems, hair thinning, and he went to this doctor. It's like a witch, like a magical doctor. He gives you a prescription for some kind of drug, and it just fixes all your problems. I went there and he said like, yes, you are balding. It was very apparent at the time, and there was no hiding it. And he said, okay, I'm going to prescribe to you minoxidil. Let's see if it works, and if not, I also do hair transplants, and I would recommend that you get one at 25, because still you will still bald until 25, and it will be better to do it when you are completely at the peak of your baldness, let's say. That was an idea for me, but at the time, I think at the back of my mind, I already had the will to shave my head. I just asked him, will it be bad for my hair if I shave it? Will it create more thinning? Will it be worse? Or will it grow back to where it is now? Because I don't know, some people say if you shave it, it will grow thicker. If you shave it, you will go bald, stuff like that. And there's really no impact, no scientific evidence of any impacts. He just said, no, you can just shave it and it will grow back to where it is now. No problem. It was important for me at the time. I think that I had the will to do it already. I just needed that strength to finally accept it and do it. It was the end of 2022, the time of the year where you write your objectives, your goals for the next year. I just knew it. I didn't have the courage yet, but I knew. I had started watching your videos. I had been getting so many ads for hair transplants and stuff, and I just saw a random video about someone balding, and I was like, what the hell is this going to be about? Another hair transplant transformation or something like that? And then I watched it and I was like, what? Wait, this is kind of refreshing to hear something a little bit different. Wow, like, can you actually accept going bald? Is that an option? And it just started having an impact. And I started feeling in my head, maybe this is the answer. Maybe this is actually what's going to make the difference for me. Like, look at all these people that took action and now they are so much better in life. They don't have this thing stuck in their head. And when it came time to write my goals for 2023, I just wrote a full page just dedicated to the hair. And it was like, just shave your head, confidence problems will go away. Look at all the time you lose in the bathroom. You'll have more time. You'll be able to go to the gym again. You'll be able to run. You'll be able to do all these things that you want. Like, this one piece of action, look at how much it will impact your life positively. 2023 is the year. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. Like, I know that this is going to be what's going to change my life for the better. I kept on delaying it, watching your videos. I read your ebook. Well, I think what I gained from watching your videos and reading your ebook was more about how balding is something that only affects you in your head. First, I just thought, okay, I have to keep my hair, that's mandatory. Then, once I started considering balding, I was like, should I do the buzz cut? Should I shave it completely? Like, what is being true bald? What is actually being bald? And it's completely irrelevant. Even if you keep your hair like it is, it's completely irrelevant. As soon as you're okay with it in your head, that's all that matters. The only thing that matters is how you feel about yourself, your self-perception in your head. Like that's really the only thing. There's no right way to do it, no correct way. You just have to accept it and embrace it. And if you feel confident with it, then that's it. You don't have to do anything about it, you know? I continued on working and having all these struggles with my hair. And then in February, I was going to have a little vacation with my friends. I didn't want to do it one day and then going the next day to work and everybody noticing it. I wanted to have like a trial period, you know? So I thought, okay, this is the perfect time. I can do it right after I leave work. And then I have these small vacations where I can like try it out. And then I go to work and I see all of people's reaction, but I will already have dealt with this reaction from my close friends. So I just decided to take action. I already had a buzzing machine, so I didn't have to buy it. I just saw so many videos of people, those doubts that you have, like how should I do it? Like where should I stop it? The beard and the hair, those
Yeah.
basic doubts that you have. In my mind, I set that date. Okay, it's going to be this day, and I'm going to record it because I want this to be a really big moment. I told my family at dinner, like, tomorrow I'm going to shave my head. This is something that I've been dealing with for some time. I've not been vocal about it, but it's really something that I've been struggling with, and I'm going to do it. And at first they were trying to dissuade me, like, oh no, but are you going to really shave it? Like, how is it going to be? And I was like, no, I'm going to completely shave it because I don't like the way I look and I just want a fresh start. I want to see how I look, like completely buzzed out. My mother really didn't like the idea, but ultimately I just told her, look, it's not about you, it's about me, it's about how I feel about myself. You may think that I look good, but I really don't, and it really affects my life. So I really have to do it for myself. And she understood it. And so I took action that day. I did it. Even then, I thought that maybe I don't need to completely shave it. Maybe I can have a longer trim. So
Yeah.
I took way more time than I should have taken because I just started with a really big measurement in the machine, and I just wanted to see bit by bit how it would look, as it downgraded
Yeah.
in size. I kept on shaving it shorter and shorter, and yeah, I just found a balance that I liked. I didn't completely shave it. At first, I had 1 millimeter on the sides and on the back, and 3 millimeters on the top.
Yeah.
And then over time, I started experimenting a little bit, and now I've gotten to the sweet spot for me, which is kind of like 5 millimeters on top and 1 millimeter on the sides and on the back,
Yeah,
and
awesome.
then sort of like a fade in between. Still, like if you look from behind, you still can notice the bald spot, but I just think like I've accepted it, and this is the way I kind of like how I look now, and I'm okay with it, and that's all that matters to me. I'm just living this balding journey step by step, just feeling comfortable with yourself, enjoying it. After I did that first shave, it was a massive impact. I passed through a mirror and it was like watching someone else. My friends, I was going to meet them the next day to go on vacation. As I got there, I just took it out, and they were all surprised, like, oh my God, you did it, you did it. Like, oh, it looks good. Everybody, when they see you at first, they are shocked. After some time, they really think that I look better this way. And that really fills my heart, to hear that from
Yeah.
friends that, okay, man, you really look better. Even from my girlfriend, like I met her when I was already bald. I think also maybe that's one of the reasons why that happened, because I was already confident again. Sometimes she likes to shave my head and stuff. It's sort of a bonding moment.
Yeah.
And it's good to feel that support, to feel that way, and to be able to be open about it. Because before, as I was going bald, I was completely unable to talk to anyone
Uh,
like truly and openly about this to anyone. I couldn't openly speak about it like to anyone. And now I can just openly speak about it. And before I did the transformation, and when somebody said, oh, you're bald or you're going bald or something like that, it really affects you because you don't want to assume it. You are holding on to that hair because you are not comfortable with the fact that you are balding. So when someone says something like that, it really affects you. And now if someone turns to me and says, "Man, you're bald," like, yeah, look at me.
Yeah.
Like I know that.
Yeah.
It's not something, it's not an insult, it's a fact. I've
Yeah.
assumed it. It's just who I am. And I like the way I am. I'm comfortable with it. You think, how
course.
am I going to look?
Yeah.
I also thought that. But I just thought, I just want to try it out and see, because it's to the point where it's controlling so much of my life and it's not looking good. And even if I spend 2 hours on the bathroom, it's not looking good. So might as well just try it, and it can't be much worse than this. Immediately after doing it, I think I didn't feel the relief immediately. I don't know why that was. Maybe it was because of the difference in my look. Maybe it was because I still had to tell all these people and show up to all these people that I know in my life, and like have that first impact of, yes, I'm bald, I shaved my head. But after that, like, really, there's no more worries about it. I think it's because you're still waiting to see how your family is going to react. Family, your friends, everyone in your life. But after you do it and you show up to everyone and everyone is just fine with it, because nobody really cares if you have your hair and you're balding, or if you're completely bald. Nobody really cares that much. And when you finally realize that, is when you just lose all worries. People don't really care about it. They are not always thinking about that. It's just you. And for me, like, as I was on the street, like I had completely lost my confidence. I was on the street and I had just been arranging my hair before going out. Like, if a person looked at me, I immediately thought, like, what are they thinking about my hair? Does it look good? Should I turn or to hide some kind of bald spot? I was always thinking people are thinking about me, about my hair, and they really not. They don't give a fuck. Nobody really cares. It's just you creating that. And that's really the problem. Like, if it's you creating the problem, you should do something about it. Let go of the problem. And there were so many little differences that I noticed after I did that. There was this little moment, little insignificant moment that to me meant really a lot. I was going to visit my cousin in London, and I was on the plane sitting by the window, and I just leaned back and I put my head against the plane. It was just something natural. And in that split second, I thought, if I didn't shave my head, I would be completely unable to do this. I would have never done this, which is such an irrelevant action, but I just wouldn't have done that, because I would be so self-conscious. And even if I needed to lay down, if I needed to put my head against something to rest, I just wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it, because I was so complexed in my head about this issue.
Yeah.
And now I have the freedom. In that split second, you understand, like, how much was my life under control, to the point where I wouldn't be able to just put my head against. It's unreal to think about.
Yeah.
And you gain so much freedom. Like, you think about these little things, and it's just such a freedom.
Very well said.
Being able to go out in the morning and not having to necessarily wash my hair before going, if I'm in a rush or something like that. I don't have a bad hair day. I don't have to worry so much about my hair. Like, just the freedom that it gives you, really. I just started noticing bit by bit how much of these little things that I didn't used to do, and now I can do.
Yeah.
I can do again. Like, it's just so freeing. And also, you were talking about the relationship and everything, and I think that's also something that I struggled with, and probably a lot of young guys also experiencing balding think, which is, what are the ladies going to think about this? Like,
Sure.
how is it going to impact my dating life? I have to say that after that moment, I was still like worried about how is this going to impact. Let's see. And actually, after that, I think that this is just my perception, but I think just purely out of my confidence that I gained back, my dating life improved really a lot. It was better than before by far. Whereas before, I was always thinking that they have to be looking at my hair, they have to be thinking, like, why is this guy balding and stuff. And then it was just like, okay, this guy's bald, and if I want to be with him, I'll be with him. If I don't, I don't. Like, this is who he is. And I really experienced a better dating life after that, to the point where then I met my girlfriend, who I'm still with today. And ultimately, that's
the goal, right?
That's
that
the
was
goal.
the
Yeah.
goal, yeah.
It's funny how it happens. Like, at first, it's something that you want to avoid at all costs.
Yeah.
It's like the end of the world. It's hell on earth. After you accept it, it becomes who you are. Right now, I'm so happy that I embraced it, and that I am part of this community, and that I feel good about myself. And I don't know, it's just something that I wouldn't go back. An experience that in a way gives you a lot of life experience dealing with all these things. I think I definitely didn't know this at the time,
Yeah.
but now I can see that for my friends, I'm kind of an example of confidence, because for them, even though they're not balding, I think they still think it takes a lot of balls to actually shave your head and assume it, you know. Really, that's what I'm here for, you know. At some stage, probably some of them will also have this issue, and I will be here to help them, and I've already dealt with it, so I can just guide them through the journey. About the confidence aspect of it, it's really not about how your hair looks. It's not about the buzz cut. It's not about the shaved head. It's not about letting it grow. It's just being comfortable with it. And for me, I was not comfortable with the head that I had, with my balding spots. Maybe one day I'll be, I don't know. Ultimately, it's just about being confident about yourself, because when someone calls you bald, it comes from an insult to just affect something that you embrace about yourself. And you can have a fully grown hair like you had, and your bald spot, and someone, but you're confident about yourself, and someone says, "Oh, you're bald," and you're like, "Yeah, I'm bald. Yeah, that's who I am." You know, it's not about having the head shaven or the buzz cut or whatever. It's just about accepting yourself and being confident about yourself.
Very, very well said. Is there, speaking of, helping others through it, is there any kind of final message?
I just think, be pragmatic about it. Like, if it's affecting your life to a certain extent, like it was for me, just write a list of the things
like
that
that.
I can't do right now, and the things that I will be able to do if I go bald. Like, how is this going to actually impact my life? Which is pretty much what I did on that New Year's Eve kind of goal setting sheet of paper. I just went like head shave, and then from then, what is going to change about my life? What am I going to be able, like, it was a goal of mine to start going to the gym more often, because I didn't feel confident going to the gym. And how can I solve that? How can I go to the gym? If I shave my head, I will be confident again. I will be able to go. So I thought, I just felt a lot of connections to shaving my head. This is really going to impact my life in so many ways, and it's going to make me more comfortable, like not being late to anything, being able to control my time. There were just so many things that I felt, okay, it's not worth living this way just to keep my hair, the little hair that I have left. It's just not worth it. Might as well just shave it and have a better life quality. Even if it looks equally as bad or even worse, it's just not worth continuing to live this life with this many worries and all of this. So I think, just think about, if it doesn't impact your life, then you don't have a problem. If it impacts your life, just start thinking about the little things where it impacts your life. Like, what are you not able to do? What are you able to do? And what's going to change if you shave your head? If you go bald? And that's pretty much it. It doesn't change in a split second. It's not like that. It takes some weeks, maybe a month. But after that, like, I assure everyone watching that, yes, it does get better, and you do get over these things. And as you go on your day-to-day life, your normal day life, you will really start to experience on the little things what you are, the freedom that you gain. Really, it's freedom, and how much more confident, the freedom that you have to do all these things that you want to do.
I think it's really good advice. The writing the list is such a good piece of advice, man. So dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your experience, man. Really, really well said. And hopefully, this reaches someone, and it's the kind of final piece that they need. Yeah, to reach that freedom from it, man. Thank you.
Hopefully, it makes me really happy to be able to talk to you and share all these things. And I just hope that it can reach someone, and just help them, especially young guys like me, that it's really hard when you're young to deal with this.
Yeah.
But just know that there are other people out there, and it's not the end of the world. Just continue to embrace this community and all of these things, and it will get better.